Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the NiNe podcast. This is episode 6, entitled How to Improve Your Blast. I'm Jono. This is Otim. Otim.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, indeed. How's things, man?
Yeah, things are good. Things are good. It was just that split second. That was a bad example of blasting when I interrupted you there. That's actually one thing I noticed with Bing Demon Blast. I have this weird. It's like when it's time to speak, I will do it in like the wrong or time it so badly. Yeah. Every time. I think looking back at most of our episodes, I've done that. Like I'll just come, but it's fine. I think it's like also the play communication. But anyways,
it's a good point. And it's not only that, it's also like the other problem is the explain train. You know, when you have to explain what you've done to everyone and you just keep kind of you keep throwing out, keep throwing, this is why, and you just end up with a big mess.
It's weird. It's weird because it's like the demon blast is not just not talking, but then talking inappropriately.
Right, and that's different a little bit. Like if you have feminine DE, right, you kind of gonna stop a bit more if someone kind of interjects. Whereas like a masculine blaster will just kind of just it's a freight train, dude.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah.
Go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. So one thing I want to check, demon sensory check here. What is your microphone selected as in Zoom?
Oh, that's a good.
This is one thing Otim and I always do. We need to make sure we have the right microphone selected because otherwise the quality comes out really bad.
And it is the correct one, unless Zoom's lying to me.
Okay.
But it's good. I think we're good.
Good. I'm glad we established that. Good stuff. Okay, so just to preface a little bit as well. So this is episode 6 of the NiNe podcast. It is now June, apparently, when this episode goes live anyway. And so Otim and I decided we're going to take a break every 6 months for a month. Yeah. So next month is going to be no episode, but we're still going to meet and we're going to just brainstorm. We're going to think of ideas. We're going to see what works, what doesn't work. How can we improve? And do we even want to continue? So yeah. That's a little bit of a bit of a news update for you guys. But anyway, to get into it, so we are talking about how to improve your blast. Let's quickly kind of just recap and summarize what is blast.
What is blast? Yeah, perfect. What is blast? Well, the two basic definitions are getting started and sharing information with the tribe, known information with the tribe. So those are like the two different parts of it. And I think diving in a little bit deeper might be useful. What does getting started mean? Because I've spoken to people with Savior Blast, with different blast functions, some with NI, some with SI. So getting started doesn't have to just be physical. It can also be mental. And it's basically you're just taking a leap forward with some sort of agenda. Like you're trying to make progress. Right. You could physically make progress, or you can like have it in your head to make progress. Right. I was a friend with Playlast. He was just saying how blast for him is very mental. He's not really doing stuff so much, but he knows how to move from A to B. So it means
it's like planning. Planning. Steps.
Yeah, in a streamline, how to do something very streamlined.
Yeah. So I guess a good example of like a demon blaster versus savior blaster when it comes to maybe putting some IKEA furniture together. It's like the demon blast is going to want to unpack everything. It's going to want to read the entire instructions, make sure it's space, just all this before we get started. But the demon blaster is like, let's just open it up, rip it open. Let's just start putting it together. As we go.
Dude, you know how that's hilarious. Me and Jono, we didn't talk about this before. But this weekend, me and my girlfriend were building a bed frame from IKEA, and that was exactly what happened. She got everything out. I don't know if she saved a blast or what, but she got everything out. and she kind of wanted to get started and also tell me what to do. And I had to stop her. I was like, hold on. I need to read everything for myself. I want to see everything. And I was like being difficult about space. I was like, we need to move this shit out the way. Like I was just trying to make it as like environmental friendly to build this thing. I didn't want to just jump in. I just wanted everything to just be ready. That's exactly it. That was it.
Yeah.
It's
you want to
hilarious.
make it perfect, you know, like that's the consumed drug.
Set it up.
It's like we need to make everything has to be right. Like this needs to be right, that needs to be right, this needs to be right before we can get started.
Yeah. It's so pedantic, but that's exactly what it is.
So that's a good example of like getting started, right?
Yeah.
So what about then like communicating with the tribe, sharing that information with people? I mean, I kind of see this in a similar fashion where it's like lead blasters. They just want to share information before they understand the whole thing. Like they know a small piece of information about it. It's like, hey, you know, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard are on trial right now. Oh my gosh, guys! Like, did you know about this? They don't know. Like, no one knows what the content's about. Like, no one really knows who's winning and this kind of stuff. It's just like, hey, get the information out. Whereas, you know, like someone like me wants to kind of, I want to tell these people this stuff, but I also want to have prepared information. Like, okay, you know, Johnny Depp's on trial, Amber Heard, blah blah blah. These are the kind of the facts. This is what's happening.
The context, like, all the angles, right? Yeah. That's what it's a bit of a gift and a curse, because sometimes obviously saying stuff a bit too quickly can put you in a position where there's nothing to, like, if someone has questions or you know, there's nothing behind it. The benefit is, though, the whole communicating thing, they're organizing information quickly. Because what I find is, because I'm taking a seat back and I'm like, oh, I want to learn everything before I communicate. It's too much. My brain is too jumbled up. So then I never communicate because there's just too much, like a billion things. Yeah. So they're like organizing it as they take it in. So then they're always able to communicate it.
Right. And what's also great is, like, you know, even that, like they're so aware of how much they share that, like, some of the things they share, if there is question or is pushback, they normally just be like, okay, yeah, that's wrong, or like, okay, and they've just discarded that information. It's information they don't no longer need. So they can go get more, like, replace it with more it's precise information.
It's a very interesting learning process, because it's really efficient, like you said, because in when I was, you know, at uni, I was researching a lot about how to learn, and also like the studies
learning how to learn.
Learning how to learn. And there's a particular thing called active recall, which is basically you do blast. You try to teach the information that you want to learn. And why it's the most effective is because you see your gaps in knowledge by trying to talk.
Right.
So it's very effective because you get immediate feedback from reality, whether you know this information or whatever. And like with them, like you said, talking to people, they also get feedback. It's a very, like, you just get that immediate feedback about what you learned, which is good. That's all part of blast.
So okay, then we've kind of established what blast is, examples, differences between consume and blast. So how then, should we move on to the how? Okay, let's move on to how. So that was the what. The how do we improve the blast?
This is the good stuff.
The good stuff.
How do we improve blast? And this is also, to preface, this is more so for demon blasters, because I think with savior blasters, we, like, from our position, I don't know if we could give solid advice from the best position, but this is just more so from ground zero to like level up to 1 or 2. It's not like how do you get to level 100. It's more so how do you just make progress from nothing, you know, from blast blasters.
Right.
And so, and I have a few things I tried to go from a few angles of blast, just to improve your blast. And the first thing is kind of a bit of paradox, but it's using your consume to get better at blast. And I don't know if you've done this, Jono, but it's pretty much just learning what effective communication is from in a very practical standpoint. I think you told me about this, where your voice, your vocal cords, and how you speak, projecting your voice and things like that. That's practical. You can learn that.
Yeah,
you can learn more.
What I had here in my notes as well. Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, stole that.
No, yes.
It was perfect. We're on the same wavelength. We don't to let you guys know, we just kind of come together and start talking.
Yeah, we don't plan this together.
Hash it out, not at all. But we just, exactly. And the other aspect, you can learn emotional aspects of communicating, because it's like how, let's say someone's in a bad spot, power blasting is knowing how do I help that person. It's like say something in a way that they want to hear me out. That's emotional intelligence. And also just learning from people in your life that are good at blasting, like, you're noticing patterns of their communication, so you can use your consume to get better at blast.
No, I agree with that. I want to talk about just the vocal training and like the kind of physical elements, like the physiological elements to improving the blast. And so like I did this as a kind of a test like a year ago. I started like doing vocal training, like singing lesson vocal training. Because I kind of realized like something in myself, like when I was typed and like, just knowing that I'm blast last, I always think like, how does it affect me like physiologically? And I noticed like a lot of the time when I'm in a position where I have to speak a lot, like public speaking, or I'm on the spot, like I really tense, like my jaw, my throat and stuff really gets tensed up. And then I started thinking like, I mean, okay, being blast last, obviously my vocal cords, my throat, my jaw has not had as much exercise as someone with lead blast, right? So it's gonna be, the muscles are gonna be weaker.
Gonna be weak, yeah.
So I thought, okay, let's try vocal lessons. Let's see if there's better ways to speak and better ways to actually move these muscles in unison to actually make the voice easier, so it's less strainful. And
exactly.
It really helps. Like now I like speak from like the chest rather than like throat and like really tense up the throat all the time. So it's just absolutely like I never get like throat pain anymore when I'm talking. I just feel like the words just flow out a lot easier. And actually just doing like a 10-minute vocal warm up just helps you communicate throughout the whole day, like your mouth. So it's highly recommend something like that. And another interesting fact, and this is me NEing a little bit here, is that maybe like, I don't know if you're into chakras or much, or people here like understand. There's a chakra in the throat apparently. And I have a theory that like people that are low blast probably have a low imbalance.
It's like an imbalance.
Throat chakra.
So
giving attention to that area, I think, can help you just in your balance.
You might have to send me the vocal cords exercise. I'm really, really curious about that.
Will do, man. It's a really cool exercise that I follow on YouTube. Will do. Good. So that's just me kind of talking to the vocal thing. I had a few other examples as well, a few other physical elements. Just practicing public speaking. So you and I, like we did the Blast Blasters group in Facebook. And that was really good. Like it started good, and I think we kind of improved our confidence. Like we were able to just improve from the camera. And now, like, cameras are nothing. Like I can easily just
exactly.
So that's one thing, improving like just your confidence, being able to speak. Another thing, I think one really, really important one is making yourself a routine. Make yourself a daily routine, like set like wake up time and time the same every day. And then start planning your days. Do specific things in your day that are going to build to something else. Like if you want to, for example, if you want to build a habit, if you want to learn guitar or something, wake up early, do your morning thing, have breakfast, play guitar for 15 minutes a day, every day, and just slow and long. Build.
It makes you very, having those kind of routines and structures there make you very active in the day, because it's like you're your habit system in your brain is very different to your normal dopamine system, because it uses your cannabinoid pathways.
Oh,
And that you're not using willpower when you do habits and you have routines. So it makes it easier to get started. It makes it easier to move because you're not drawing on so much energy. So you're kind of like, it's literally like just giving you that extra boost,
So
that's why habits are important.
From the cannabinoids.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so
It's quite interesting.
If you smoke weed, does that have any kind of effect, benefit, or?
I think there's no conclusion per se.
Okay.
But it may be a potential reason why some people have different experiences with weed, where it's like they feel like they're less productive or something like that. But it's not clear because there's no real consensus on what it does. And also weed impacts people differently, so it's hard to say. I can't really say exactly. But yeah, the other thing I would say about getting better at Blast, other than you communicating and like, getting started with your day, this is more of the DE element, which I think was missing in the Blast last group. And I think, when you're communicating, it also has to serve someone or influence someone. Because if you just communicate, it can turn into consume report or sleep report. But the way you know that you're communicating with Blast is, hey, I'm solving a problem, like serving someone, or I'm just influencing them. I'm controlling them, like a situation. So the best way to learn how to develop communicating in that way is putting yourself in an environment where it's like you have a responsibility to people.
Right.
And the easiest thing is just being a part of a community. Just like use your play to like get you into a community. And then once you're in that community or team or whatever, then practice Blast within that team, within that group. And it's just as simple as that. Because you'll see situations where I need to hold this person accountable. Let me talk to them, But it's just always putting yourself in a group dynamic. Just it opens opportunities to do Blast.
Yeah,
and,
that's really important.
Yeah.
You mentioned like kind of putting yourself into the situation where you have responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean,
even like in the OP meetup, I remember like we had the meetup going on, but then I remember you were saying like there was a moment where people kind of made you automatically responsible for us to go somewhere, and then you had to Blast. It's stuff like that. Like you were just part of the group, and then responsibility came to you, and you had to Blast. It's just and that's good for us DIs who are Blast last, especially. I think. Just being a part of a group. Yeah.
No, exactly. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we kind of covered like. There's one saying that I like to say to myself is hours equals powers.
Interesting. What does that mean?
It basically,
Tony Robbins?
No, it was from a drummer actually that does.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, hours is powers. If you want to get better at something, you got to put in the hours.
Yeah.
So I kind of use that as a way to remind myself that, like, if there's anything I want to do, build, or create, like, and actually make something of it, like it's all about hours is powers, which means like. And it always reminds me to just focus on the day. It's like, okay, I need to make sure I'm putting in time every day.
Yeah.
These areas.
Yeah.
In order to build.
Yeah. That's really good because it's like that idea of 1% improvement. So making sure you do it every day builds it up.
All right. So we've covered the what, we've covered the how, and our favorite one is the why.
Yeah.
Why do we need to improve our Blast? What if we don't want to? Like,
Yeah.
Can't control me.
No. Yeah. Why should we improve our Blast? I think, I mean, I can't really speak for everyone, but for me, it's as a DI, it's like, I don't want people to control me, but in a way, by not being able to Blast, not having that capability, I'm not able to put my will into the world. So I'm allowing the world to put its will on me. It's like if I can't communicate, if I can't join the mix, I'm always in a submissive position to reality. If I can't be a leader, if I can't take charge, if I don't know how to move others, I'm always in a position where I'm against everyone else, you know, and it's like a weird paradox of you're kind of limiting yourself.
You're stuck. You're kind of,
you know, exactly. Yeah, the whole thing is you don't want, you know, if you're DI, you don't want people telling you what to do because you don't want to be limited. But your inability to blast is the most limiting thing. So you'll have more freedom if you're able to communicate, take charge, keep accountable, and keep others accountable. It's so much power. That's what gives you freedom. To me, anyways, that's like,
yeah,
you know, tying it together
yeah.
in that way.
No, that's good. So yeah, I agree. I think you know, if you can narrow down, you can organize, and you can well, blast, then you will actually have more freedom. You know, that sounds like a paradox. It sounds
like
an oxymoron, I should say. You know,
if
you want to have more freedom, then you have to narrow down. Like,
it's weird.
It's true. Like, I remember Benjamin said that to me once on a call. He's like, you know, if you want to have ultimate freedom, you need to organize. And I just, it kind of hit me. It's like, you know, if I kind of organize my life, if I set up my structures, my routine, then I can kind of just go through life, the freedom of just, you know,
exactly
working on the things I'm working on and building on, and I can just, my brain is more clear. I can think more. I feel more free. So,
exactly.
Is that we want to become better people that can function, people that are grown-ups and, you know, can survive whatever life throws at us. And become a superhero. You know, like if you can learn all the areas in your life where blast has been a problem for you, and you can actively slowly work on each one, like, you know, 1% each day, you will be a superhero. Like, you literally be able to do anything. So
that's actually being able to cover all the bases of something, because then it's full circle. You can do the sleep, consume, play, and then when you do blast, there's no limitations, you know. And another thing is just being a leader, you know, just because, like, you know, if you're missing blast, right, you probably have some kind of introverted world you're trying to build, make good, you know, but it doesn't do any good staying inside of you. So you need a vehicle that can take that good thing you've been working on and to, like, actually give it out, you know, make use of it. And blast is how you do that. To make the most of you as a person, you need to blast. Otherwise you're limiting the impacts you can make.
Love it.
You know, so that's
cool. So I want to close with just one thing. Like, I think out of all these things we've discussed, I think the minimal thing you can do, the easiest thing you can do to improve your blast, and this actually probably goes for any animal, is have a structured sleep routine. I would say is like the bare minimum thing you can change in your life, which will over time influence other areas. You'll have more time, you'll have more energy, and I think that'll kind of kickstart a good blasting routine. Good blasting momentum, I should say.
It's like you're cultivating, like, that little routine is a way of cultivating a mind that cares about and sees the benefit of being structured for the sake of being impactful in your day, because you'll wake up and then be doing stuff, and it's like connecting those things. You'll start seeing it in like a million different areas, like, okay, actually I can be consolidated in this area and this area, and it's like it starts, you know, you're changing the way you see reality.
It's like a domino effect, you know, like one falls and the pieces just keep falling.
Yeah, exactly. Good stuff. I think that's awesome, actually, to give people that, because you just need to start somewhere small. I always jump in a bit too quickly, but then you just end up at the baseline. But if you just start with something small,
that was one
and
thing,
then
and get good at that, like
yeah,
just set a sleep routine and just do that for a week. That's the only thing you have to do. And then watch what happens in 2 or 3 weeks, just how much more productive you'll be.
Yeah, that's brilliant, man. That's good.
Boom.
So that is how to improve your blast from a couple of blast lasters to other demon blast people.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that sound?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
What was it?
That was the Pomodoro timer. Literally 25.
There we go. Boom. Mic drop. Perfect timing.
There we go, guys.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Just to remind you, we will be taking a month break, but when we come back, we'll probably be bigger, better, and stronger after we do our sleep processing, review our processes, and we'll come. Oh, we might not come back at all, but we don't talk about that.
No.
But yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and of course, as usual, leave comments in the description, and we'll see you guys in a while.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye.